vichyssoise. It's supposed to be cold.
Alfred is one of the most powerful characters in the cast. He's very loyal to Bruce. He's the one who knows the small child. He knows the child in Bruce. He's the only one who's ever been there and's been with him every step of the way. He knows how Bruce Wayne became Batman. He understands it, he accepts it, he's part of it.
Certainly in the Tim Burton films, there was this wonderful, almost childlike simplicity to the Batman character. You know, I'm doing my stuff, and he has no idea how the phone bill's getting paid. You know, Alfred just takes care of all that stuff.
A piece of Alfred that they don't really take into the movies, which is great in the books, is that he was a combat surgeon. Like, he was a guy during the war who would stitch people up like a medic. So when Batman comes back after a night of getting the crap knocked out of him, Alfred puts him back together again. And you don't really get that in the movies too much.
I was in a play in New York, and it was called Breaking the Code, and I won an award for it. And as I was getting the award, apparently Tim saw this, and he said, "I know that man. You'd believe anything he said. We'll have him." Then he asked me to play Alfred. And he was sweet because he told me about what he felt about Alfred, but very much encouraged me to have ideas about Alfred. It's going to be your idea of a servant who's totally honorable, totally straight, and totally square, you know?
Tell her there's a big business deal came up. No, you know what? Tell her, let her know that not in some kind of dumb, be my girlfriend kind of way.
I will relay the message.
Great.
Alfred is largely a figment of my imagination, except, of course, that I have based him on a real person. The real person that I know is a butler, so he's always been able to look after himself. He's always been able to sew on buttons, do little bits of ironing, and he does the cooking. So he's a perfect kind of gentleman's gentleman, although he looks after a lady. So that's my main source. And the other source I have is the butler in the house where we did some location work. I followed him around, and he gave me all the details. Don't show any cuffs. If you're waiting at table, no one wants to see your dirty cuffs. Don't show a handkerchief here. There's one showing now, but that's an accident. It jumped up of its own accord. It shouldn't be there. And those sort of things, you know, I got from him. So those are the two people who I based Alfred on.
Mr. Wayne, a reminder, tonight is that loathsome party hosted by the odious Mr. Shrek. May we RSVP in the resoundingly negative?
Well, now then, the bond between Batman and Alfred, I think, is the fact that ever since he was a child, since he was a very small boy, he hasn't had a mother, he hasn't had a father. All he's had is an old-fashioned nanny. And I play an old-fashioned nanny who tries to bring him up like a little gentleman. In a way, I think this suits my character. Alfred suits my character. He is a nanny. He doesn't stand for any rubbish, but at the same time, he's there to look after and take care of his ward, you know?
And there's a line in the script that I had that still gets the biggest response in an audience, the reference to the first film where Michael Keaton says, well, you were the guy who led Vicky Vale into the Batcave, which I knew from the first film drove everyone nuts. So I had some fun at Alfred's expense in that one.
Once you've got the idea, you've got a rope to hang on to, then you can go anywhere, you know? And I felt that with Tim. We could go anywhere, you know?